accept the fact that this city is heading for a disaster of biblical proportions. Wrath of God type stuff. Rivers, seas, oil. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's tyranny.
There is hardly a space in pop culture today that hasn't been touched by Akira Toriyama's art. Watch a Marvel movie and you'll see action sequences that purposefully echo the climactic planet-destroying battles of Dragon Ball Z. Drop a needle on a hip-hop track and you may just hear a reference going Super Saiyan. Watch sports and you'll see athletes credit their dedication to Goku powering up in the end zone, just like the hero of the Dragon Ball series. Bird Studio, the company Toriyama founded in 1983, announced on Thursday that the author and artist died on March 1st from acute subdural hematoma. Toriyama was 68. But the legacy of his work is alive and all over entertainment. After filmmaker Miyazaki, Toriyama is likely the most influential Japanese artist of modern times. He brought manga and anime into the global mainstream and broke down the walls that had once sealed off Japanese storytelling. In a statement, Bird asked the public to follow his wishes for tranquility by allowing Toriyama's family to mourn in peace and to not offer any condolences. It is our deep regret that he still had several works in the middle of creation with great enthusiasm. However, he has left many manga titles and works of art to this world. Thanks to the support of so many people around the world, he has been able to continue his creative activities for over 45 years. In a statement released by Bird Studio. Toriyama's most famous creation is the Dragon Ball series. The manga he began in 1984. It was inspired by the classic Chinese epic Journey to the West, but adapted with humor and a focus on martial arts. The animated TV show Dragon Ball Z made his work a global success. The franchise became so popular that its protagonist Goku can even claim that he was a Macy's Thanksgiving Day balloon. Beginning in 1996, a Cartoon Network programming block called Toonami introduced Dragon Ball Z to millions of U.S. homes. For many outside Japan, this was the first taste of the shonen style of narrative. Shonen means young boy. And the stories often place these characters on heroes' journeys that stress perseverance and camaraderie. There was nothing like the sprawling, slow-building story of Dragon Ball Z on American TV at the time, 1996, when Cartoon Network and Toonami decided to put it on air. The cartoon shows rarely tried to tell stories, even over multiple episodes. But Dragon Ball Z, setting the standard and raising the bar, acclaimed young millennial viewers to a TV series decades before Netflix binging became even a thing. Even years before the show that was known, that pretty much started the serialized and restarted the serialized narrative and genre, the ABC show Lost. Shout out to Mary Murr. The show's arcs would have distinctive names like the Frieza Saga, the Cell Saga. Toriyama's work was so prevalent in Latin America that Goku has long been considered a kind of a folk hero. The Los Angeles Times last year published a smart and humorous essay called "In Celebration of Goku, a Latino Icon." Latin America countries aired lots of Japanese TV programming because it was cheaper. And the rest is history. Goku slid into the hearts of another audience. Maybe Goku is something like a saint. To me, he is the patron saint I call on whenever someone tries to tell me that a story isn't Latino enough because Abula doesn't threaten anyone with La Chanchala, or the stories catering to Latino communities won't work because Latinos don't like supporting other Latinos. This is from J.P. Brammer, who wrote in the essay. As an artist, Toriyama had a sharp, distinctive way of depicting humans. They followed the classic rules of cartooning, exaggerated expressions that clearly communicate emotions. But Toriyama was louder, more intense than most. His faces were easy to spot. But much of Toriyama's storytelling occurred in how he drew hands. Toriyama's most iconic hand gesture is placing Goku's wrists clamped together, his palms face open, as he shoots out fireballs that destroy mountains. Like a mustard seed. This style of magical martial arts would later inspire the entire genre of fighting video games. Notably, the fireballs of Street Fighter II. Hadouken! Today, Toriyama's style of combat is omnipresent in action narratives, action movies, action cartoons. Anywhere you can find fighting, the work of Toriyama is there. Even inspiring the boxing matches of the motion picture Creed 3. His inspiration to spiky-haired characters is obvious and everywhere, but he also popularized the external depiction of chi, the spiritual energy that runs through the human body. Many people in the West recognize this as the Force, popularized in Star Wars, which was invisible and a matter of faith. Toriyama envisioned spiritual energy bursting and bathing our bodies in light and fire. He envisioned the human spirit as powerful, visible presence that made it feel real. Athletes often cite Dragon Ball as an inspiration because of Toriyama's focus on telling stories about the determination and grit, winning. Old stories about Spider-Man and Batman would focus only on the conflicts, interpersonal and otherwise. The stories of Dragon Ball, however, created entire story arcs, multi-part sagas specifically about training and self-improvement. What would be a throwaway training montage in other stories, Toriyama would use as an opportunity to build up characters, tension, and a connection with the audience. Beyond TV, Toriyama lent his art and style to other fields. Just as Dragon Ball was starting, he was commissioned by a Japanese software company to draw up a fantasy land. With Enix, Toriyama would help create Dragon Quest, one of the most influential games of all time. He was the lead artist of Chrono Trigger, a Super Nintendo role-playing game, often cited as one of the best games ever to be made. Toriyama made ripples, both large and small. It was Dragon Ball, for example, that gave him and gave us the notion of individual characters having power levels. The phrase, "it's over 9,000, became an indelible internet meme. On Thursday evening, artists and animators from 3 industries Toriyama touched shared work that he inspired. A Spider-Man animator demonstrated a fireball he gave the character Miles Morales. Many noted that Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog are both inspired by Toriyama characters. And then there's Ichiro Oda, creator of One Piece, whose work follows in Toriyama's footsteps. The excitement and emotions felt through the Dragon Ball series will forever take root in the youth of the creators of this industry, Oda wrote. His existence is like that of a great tree. May the heaven he envisioned be a most joyous place for him. Akira Toriyama laid the bedrock of modern action storytelling. Akira Toriyama Sensei, the Dragon Ball creator, dead at 68. And from Marvel movies to rap songs and even professional sports, his legacy will continue to be felt everywhere. Broadcasting live from the University of Richmond, you're listening to 90.1 FM. Here on the only award-winning radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real media puppet. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam NewsMan, and this is Saturday morning.